Hi there, it's Mary, your fearless leader here in the Banish the Butt Free Coaching Club. And I wanted to come on here today. I wasn't planning to do this Facebook Live, but just a few minutes ago, I felt inspired to come on and share a message with you that I'm hoping will touch something in your heart here. As I'm talking to you, it's impossible to ignore the events in my home country. And that's part of why I've come on. I'm not going to talk about that specifically. What has become very, very clear to me is that the world needs your self expression. The world needs your love. The world needs your goodness in its fullest form. No holding back. No holding back. If you have felt nervous about being visible, I want to assure you of something. It takes tremendous energy to repress and hold back as opposed to expressing who we are and fully coming into who we are and being that light in the world. That takes no effort, none whatsoever. Right before I jumped on here, I was thinking about my home state of California. And I love the Big Trees National Park. I used to go there frequently as a kid and see the giant redwood trees. And I was thinking to myself, how much effort would it take for one of those giant trees to stop itself from growing past, say, 12 inches in height? How much energy would it have to expend to keep itself from growing and expanding into its fullest form? Can we even imagine the force that would be required to repress and repress and repress its fullest expression? I'm imagining that that could have ripple effects around the planet and maybe even into the universe. If a single tree somehow decided that it was going to try to hold itself back from being what it is. What I've come to understand about human beings over the last several years now is that when we do that, when we hold back, when we listen to that but and obey what comes after it, that has ripple effects. That has ripple effects around the world because we are not in this alone. What I do affects you, what you do affects me. We're all interconnected. And I think that this whole pandemic, for one, has really shown us that, how connected we actually are. So when I say that the world needs you, needs your love, needs your goodness, needs your expression, I'm really kind of speaking selfishly because I need you. I need you to do that. I need you to listen to what is speaking to your heart, to say and put out there with your voice, with your face, with your persona, with your writing, whatever it is, whatever form it takes doesn't matter. It's simply your amazing self becoming visible to everyone. And that is what is so needed. That is our job as human beings. Our one job is to express ourselves. And through that self expression, we can experience the deepest happiness and joy that is available to us. Because it's through that self expression that that feeling of wholeness becomes palpable to us. That is what we are designed to do. You may know something about my background, you may not. I'm not going to go into it here. If you're really interested, you can read my memoir, which is called I Am Just a Woman. It's on Amazon. But I spent a lot of years repressing myself and engaging in major struggle and major stress and major feeling of smallness and contraction, contracting into myself. And I was exhausted. I had major physical problems. I had just incredible pain, emotional pain that I went through every single day. And at one point, a few years ago now, I realized that I was doing that to myself, that I was listening to the call of suffering and struggle and answering that, when instead there was another call that I could answer. I could turn away from struggle, from stress, from anxiety, from fear, from all those things. I could turn away from that, and I could choose self expression and happiness and joy. So, ever since then, whenever I have this sensation of repression, deprivation, anything like that, I feel that sensation and the power in there, and I say, no, I'm not using it for that. I'm going to use that power for self expression, because that is what I'm designed for. That is what people need in this world. They do not need me to be engaging in self deprivation. People do not need my struggle. People do not need my stress. That is not helpful. It's not helpful. Certainly isn't helpful to me, and it's not helpful to anyone else. And we can take responsibility for ourselves and for our experience and decide we are not going there anymore. That door is closed. We can feel the power that is within us when those kinds of feelings come up. And we can say, I'm not going to use that power to continue to increase my sense of struggle. I'm going to use this power that I have been provided with to create something, to generate more goodness in the world, to make myself happy through self expression. The more happy people, the better, right? The more happy people, the better. And where I keep landing with this is that we do not have to struggle anymore. We do not have to engage in self deprivation anymore. There is plenty of everything for you and for me and for everyone. There's plenty of everything. So, literally, anytime I have that sensation, I experience it, I feel it just like everybody else. And then I say, no, I'm not using my energy for that. I'm not using it for that. That is over. I spent enough years in suffering. I don't want that anymore. We can create our own experience, our own world, if you will, that is filled with joy, that is filled with um, beauty, that's filled with generosity. We do not have to live in a state of depression, or excuse me, repression, a state of deprivation. As I have said in other videos, there is no virtue in that. There is nothing virtuous about struggling. That's not going to get us anywhere. And it is certainly not what I need from you. It's definitely not what you need from you. What I did was I took full responsibility for the experience that I was creating. And I shut the door. I shut the door on struggle. I shut the door and said no to repressing myself and staying invisible. I shut the door on anything that seemed like I didn't have enough or I couldn't get enough or whatever it is. I hear this a lot related to money. I shut the door on that and said no more. I'm not engaging with that. And I shifted my focus. I turned my attention in a completely other direction and said, I am going to focus the rest of my life and the rest of my energy, everything I've got, in expressing myself. Whatever form that takes is whatever form it takes. At that point, I didn't know I was going to be in business for myself. This happens to be the form that it's in right now. It may change next year. Who knows? But right now, this entrepreneurial venture is the expression of myself and brings me such joy and happiness. I can't even explain it to you. Oh, hi, Raha. Thank you. So I'm really hoping that you're hearing what I'm saying here, is that you and I have the choice to not engage in complexity, to not engage with worry, to not engage with fear, to not engage with stress. We do not have to engage with struggle. We do not have to engage ourselves in martyrdom. We do not have to engage in resentment. We do not have to engage in blame. We do not have to engage in smallness, because those are not who we are. That is not who we are. Who we are is the redwood that has been given everything for self-expression and can grow into itself by simply living as it is meant to. The moment you decide to stop repressing who you are, your experience of life will shift so amazingly, you won't recognize it. I no longer recognize the version of me from before. I don't even know how to describe who she was, because that was not the fullest expression of me. And the beautiful thing is, we can continue down this path, and every step we can have a new experience of expansion, a new experience of magnificence and growth and exploration, and more levels of joy and peace and happiness. It's never ending. It needs to be a conscious decision. I'm going to say that again. It needs to be a conscious decision to say no to all of those things that I mentioned. That is what is sapping your energy that is what is creating a world that you don't necessarily like. And you have the ability and the ease and the power to simply say no and live from this beautiful place of bringing yourself out into the open and making it visible. So, thank you so much for being with me today. If you joined me live, thank you for that. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for taking the time. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I have something for you that can show you a different way of experiencing life, business, everything. Let me know through a direct message if you want details on Let's Get Visible. And my biggest hope for you is that you will start to really hear how much I need you and how much other people need you, to remove your focus from the struggle and put your attention and your energy and your focus on simply relaxing into yourself and allowing the rest of us to experience that fully. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you again soon.